Hey everyone, Eggman here with another video, and today we have a deck revolving around this card, A Whole New World. It's a steel song that costs 5, and when it's sung, each player discards their hand and draws 7 cards. So kind of a reset button for both players' hands, and I have a lot of people talk about if this card is good or bad, and it's kind of like in between. I do think it's kind of like a combo card that you can take advantage of it, and in today's deck we're using it with Sapphire, which in my mind is probably the best color to use with a kind of combination with this, just in the fact that you can be very greedy with your ramp. You have few cards in hand and then you get to reset them, and traditionally, like when on the first, at least A Whole New World, your opponent's probably like has some cards that they're trying to set up and combo with, and so by using this and kind of disrupting that, it can kind of put your opponent back a lot of the time too. So that's kind of the idea for this deck and the idea for I think this card in general. So again, we are using it with Sapphire. So the key cards to talk about are we do like to get a lot of ramp or ink ramp. So Gramatalia is fantastic, probably one of the best 2-drops I think in the game. Just the fact that it does get the effect to go into your ink. This can be obviously on both players' turn, and sometimes your opponent just doesn't do anything with it. So this does also mean like that can just get a bunch of like early lore because your opponent doesn't want to remove it. Obviously, Mickey Mouse, a very strong card that I think a lot of people use in blue. Like I think it's like one of the best blue staples that exists right now. You play it for 3, you go to 4, and next time you can go 5. And so when 5 is a really important number for us too in this deck, since that's when we can play A Whole New World, that makes sense to me too. So we have that, and then kind of some additional cards. So the best thing for me about A Whole New World is that I do like the idea of it. So you can use it as a song. So we want to get some 5 cost out, and we do have 2 cards that can shift into these higher numbers. So we have Aurora here, which is a 5 cost. The ward effect for everything else is very good, and if you get 2 of them out, they protect each other, which is good for you in that sense. So I do like this card, and so we are playing the 2 cost Aurora to have just on turn 2 we can play this, and then after that we can for only 3, which is fantastic. So for 3 we can go there and we can get into our 5, and we can immediately sing. Sometimes I do just use it for one step ahead because it's going to be a little bit tricky on 3 ink for your opponent to kind of disrupt with anyway. So sometimes I do that if I get a little bit greedy and have those effects for you. So but then you can just like immediately sing afterwards. So normally again you do want to wait like a turn just to get some more advantage. So sometimes like the better one is like with Tinkerbell. So this card's fine, it does get some cycle for you, but just the fact that we can go into we can shift into this guy. So this Tinkerbell is fantastic. Like every I think steel deck is running this no matter what. So the fact that it is like a minor board clear, the fact that it's a 4/5, you can shift into it for 4. And so again, so let's say we have our 4 ink turn. So we played Tinkerbell, it lasted a turn, we go into 4. We can shift here for 4, and then we can use the Rock the Boat ability to deal 1 damage to everything and go from there. So, but the biggest thing for A Whole New World is that you really do want to sing the song because you do get to gain that ink. So even if you just have like play Aurora and Tinkerbell and you can that turn, I usually wait 1 turn and then I can get the effects from there. So reset my hand, get a bunch of 5s and 6s, and then go out on the board and kind of really capitalize on it. So I think that's really good. Some additional cards for us. Belle, fantastic card. I think you guys already know this. Not like just another really good way to be like, you know what? I'm going to, sometimes I do just like play Belle. So for example, let's say I have like either Aurora or Tinkerbell set up. I'll play Belle. I'll use the effect to, put the rest of the cards in my hand, or even just 1 in there, and then I Whole New World as a song with one of my shifted characters, and then I can get 2 more ink from there. So you can get some really, really quick ink from there very quickly. And then also just the fact that this does like quest for 5, which is a quarter of the game, like amount of lore you need. I think it's great. And then also if you have Aurora out, this protecting Belle is fantastic. Hades is fantastic too. So this is like just the best like high-end card for the deck, I think, for Steel and for Sapphire. You just play it for 7. It's just hard removal. It's a 3/6 and you can quest for 2. So just good card, I think, in that way too. And then if we go to the actions and the songs for this deck, Smash is like the only one that I really run. It's fantastic. The fact that you can put it into your ink is important because we do run a lot of uninkable cards at times. 1 step ahead we kind of talked about. There are some like really nice plays too that we can do so that, for example, say we play Aurora or Gramatalia turn 2. We just normally do sing with it, so we exert it and then get there. So we'll be at 4, and then like following up with a Mickey Mouse, I think is fantastic. So go for 2, you go to 3, play Mickey Mouse, you're at 5, and then you start next turn at 6 if you go for another one. So I think that's very good for you. Even just one jump ahead with Mickey Mouse just to get like the additional ramp, because sometimes like you are about to a whole new world, but you don't want to use the ink to get rid of this, so you can sing with one of your 2s and 3s, and then you then use whole new world. So that's good. Let It Go, it's a fantastic song, great removal for the deck. It costs 5, so, and you can sing it for 5 since we do have a good amount of those that again we want to get on board. So it does ramp our opponent, which is kind of unfortunate. Sometimes like you put your own card in your inkwell, but very very rarely. I would say there was like one scenario where I needed to get like what, one more, like I've already like used my effects to get into 9, so I let it go like one of my ones, or one of my 2 drops, and so then I was at 10, so Bell could quest for 5. It's something, it's like still felt bad, but like that's like a scenario for you. Whole New World was there. Grab Your Sword, also a song that's 5, so again, great for you. Works obviously very well with Tinkerbell. So this does 1 to everything, and the next turn you can sing and do 2 to everything. So that's 3 to everything. So we do have like some ways to get around cards with Ward. Not a lot, not really efficient cards, but again we can be a little bit greedy for us, and we have that. And then going into the items, we're only running 8. Beast Mirror, just good. Like late game, we're going to have a lot of ink and not a lot of cards in hand, so being able to get some card draw to maybe fish for something that we really need is good. And then we also have Fishbone Quill, which originally I thought this card was really bad, and I was wrong with this. So you just tap it, and you can put any card from your hand into your ink well face down, any card. So there's just sometimes like you're about to a whole new world, and you know you're going to have to discard 1 or 2 cards. So being able to use this to put those into work and put those into your inkwell is just enough. And then again, like we're going to have so many cards that are not inkable at times, like Mickey Mouse, Hades, as well as 1 Jump Ahead and Grab Your Sword. So sometimes you do just need to put a card into your ink, so this being able to do that I think is good for you. So that is the main deck, and a couple of other cards I kind of want to talk about that we aren't playing that could be run. There is kind of like a different build too that if you want, I like Maurice as a card in general, but you can use this for more cycle. I don't think it's needed in this build specifically, but I think that's kind of neat. Tamatoa kind of in the same way. It's a really large card that can help you in the end game. The fact though is that a lot of the removal in this game doesn't care about how big the card is. So the fact that you just get hard removal in some colors is means that you just play 8 for this and they remove it, and then you just feel bad about it. But at the same time, you can return item card from your discard from your hand when you replay it. So there is like a like Beast Mirror sometimes comes up, and then you can also and since we're playing a whole new world, that does mean we do just discard a bunch of cards too at times, so that can get in there. But then also this gets +1 lore for each item you have in play. So and then also whenever you quest, you get to draw another one. So that's fine. I don't dislike it outright. I'm not running any copies of Develop Your Brain, and you can run that too. Honestly, I just felt like the deck space was a little bit small for what you needed for it. It is like the turn 1 play if you want it. So if you like the card, go for it. I just felt like this wasn't really doing anything. Like sure, it helped draw a card, but just draw your good cards and you're fine. I don't know what to say. Eye of the Fates is also like this is fine. If you like to run this card, I think you can. If you don't like 4 copies of Fishbone or Beastmere, because like honestly, sometimes they only play like Fishbone once and then it's just done. But this being able to use the effect to gain like additional lore, I think it's fine. So sometimes you can just play it, get immediate lore, and then you get like there's so many games I'm at like 19. I'm like, man, I'm just 1 away. I can't really get there. So there's like the Sapphire cards, and then a couple of steel cards I would consider. I don't dislike Beast. I think a lot of decks are running like really item heavy stuff, including ourselves. So if you are kind of worried about that, I think Beast is fine to play. He's a 5 cost, which is good for also singing. So you can play this on like your 5 ink, and the next turn you can sing with it, and then you can get the effect. So if you like 1 or 2 copies of tech of this into it, I think that's fine for you. I recommend checking him out too. What else do we got? I think that's really the only card I thought about in Steel. There aren't like a lot of like bigger bodies. Like we have like Gontu, but like this isn't like honestly, I haven't really found a really good cause for this effect. It's just okay. If it said characters that cost 2 or less can't quest, maybe that's something different, but I think we have enough removal for the small things. Maui's just like a good card. Like it's well statted. I don't know if you want to run it, but you can. And then also we have like the Taka. During this turn, where this character banishes another character in challenge, you get to gain 2 lore. So you can play this and you can start attacking stuff and gain like just the 2-for-1 there. I think is good. Ransack is something you can run if you find like you need to find the card. Like you can always like ink this card and like the cycle is fine. You don't get a hand advantage, so there's that. I think that's it. Plasma Blaster. You could also Plasma Blaster if you want like 1 or 2 copies of this. You could also do that. Being able to deal 1 damage for 2 is fine, but not like absurd. So, and also if you don't like Beast but you want to still break items, you can go there. So, anyways, that is pretty much the list. Yeah, because Simba's just a big challenger, which is fine. And like Mickey Mouse is a bodyguard, which is okay, but I don't know. I think this deck honestly is pretty good for what it is, and I do like the combo for it. And sometimes you do just kind of disrupt your opponent, and they really can't do anything. So, anyways, that is the list for this one. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what other decks you guys are interested in for this first set of Lorcana. I know the release is upcoming as well, so I hope you guys get some good pulls and good luck for your own local events. And I'll catch you all next time.